I've loved city builders for a very long time. I did get started with the original SimCity. I was quite young. I had it on like a floppy disk somewhere, and I'd install it and kind of like try to play around with it and figure out how it worked. Had no idea what was going on at all. I was able to put down some things, but none of my cities were successful. That went on from like, I think the next one that I remember was SimCity 2000. That was definitely a fun game, but like I still couldn't focus on it really and really get good at it. I had a friend that, did really well with it for our standards back when I was in like high school. And like he got to they had these like almost like terrariums that you built where everyone went, and then like if you built enough of them, they like, there's this sort of Easter egg. They start to like blasting off like rocket ships. I remember. I didn't get that far. I would always get lost. And then I would remember when SimCity 4 came out, I remember like playing that game and then looking outside and realizing that the sun was coming up and I was still hyper focused on problems. SimCity 4 had some interesting mechanics. I was always super frustrated, and I mean immensely frustrated, when I would get up to high tech industry and then like I'd get dirty industry somehow pop up in my high tech industry, and then it would all be gone. I would have nothing. Like it would destroy all the high tech industry because they're like, oh no, pollution. And I don't know, at the time I couldn't figure out how to get it to not do that, but I would spend a ton of time to try to figure it out. And then, one of the things, there's a bit of a fast forward, but if we look at Colossal Order, the developer that made this game, you can take a look at some of their, like, the first titles that they built. They didn't actually go directly, and you can see this, I've seen this in other developers. The Colossal Order, they didn't go straight into City Skylines, straight into a city builder. They built Cities in Motion 1 and Cities in Motion 2, which were just hyper-focused on the transportation aspect. So it wasn't building roads necessarily. It was more focused on building public transit in an already existing city. There was not much building of the city in the same way that City Skylines is or SimCity is. They're just really focused on getting the transport and moving people around thing down. And then that allowed them to have the code base to build City Skylines while not needing to do all of it at once. And I've seen that in, smaller teams. Actually, if you go back and you look at least, I don't know if this is the only example, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct, but I'm just doing this based off feel. If you go look at Rockstar Games, they made Midnight Club before they made GTA. And if you go play Midnight Club 1, you can see quite a lot of elements GTA 3. You can see quite a lot of elements that went into GTA 3 almost directly, like the driving and the racing and like waypoint finding and all of that stuff, getting driving mechanics down, all of those things in a smaller game that they could sell. And Midnight Club had its own success. But you see the same pattern here with Cities in Motion developing into City Skylines. I've had this game since release, and I've had a hard time over the years trying to focus on it. And I've been finding much more success in my enjoyment of the game, just sharing it online and sharing some clips with it, because mostly it's a creative game. And when I think about like where I want to spend my creative energy, it's something that isn't necessarily something that's just for me. It's something where I want to show it to other people. So that's kind of why I've been finding some enjoyment in the game, and why I've just been playing through a 10-year-old game. Mainly it's just to show people and share it with people. Something that I've been able to enjoy, but haven't really found like a good reason to learn more about it and really dive into its systems. The systems, to be honest, are mostly around traffic, the individual simulation of like city services and all of those things. They're mostly about the roads, traffic, and getting people from, one place to another. It's not like Dwarf Fortress, which I also love. But yeah, I've just been enjoying making videos for people and hoping to continue to make more like this. So let me know if you enjoy this kind of chatty long form video.